Hello, welcome once again to Stuff and Things, where I like to talk about stuff and occasionally even things. I'm your good friend Bradley, and today I'm going to be reviewing this. This is the ROTERFADEN Taschenbegleiter Bestseller A5 size leather notebook system. Ugh. I've been using this for several weeks now. I've really been enjoying it. But I guess the question I hope to answer with this review is, will it replace my Midori full-size and Midori passport-size notebooks as my favorite all-around notebook cover slash organizer slash journal? So what is this thing? As I said, it is the ROTERFADEN Taschenbegleiter Bestseller in A5 size. It's created by ROTERFADEN in Germany, and it's a notebook system in which metal clips are used to actually hold inserts inside the notebook. You have these spring-loaded clips, and you can take pretty much any A5 insert that is thin enough to fit inside this cover, and they clip into the notebook. It provides a lot of customization options. You can basically configure it however you want. And as opposed to the Midori system, which uses elastic bands, this uses these metal clips, and they work really well. One of the nice things about the Midori, both the full size and the passport size, are their portability. They're pretty small, they're pretty compact. Obviously, the Taschenbegleiter is a little bit bigger. You can see them all lined up, their relative sizes. The Taschenbegleiter is basically the same height as the full-size Midori, and the Midori is maybe 2/3 as wide. And then, of course, the passport size of the Midori is much smaller as well. So the Taschenbegleiter isn't something that I'm going to be shoving in a pocket. Obviously, it's much too big for that. So typically when I bring it with me, it's usually when I'm going to work. So I just throw it along with a bunch of other things that I need for work into my backpack, and I have it on me all the time then. If I'm not at work and I'm not carrying a bag, then the Taschenbegleiter is a little bit more difficult for me to carry around, and I don't reach for it all the time. But for the most part, if I'm ever in a situation where I need a notebook, I'm also probably going to have a bag with me as well. If I don't, if I'm just running to the grocery store or something and I may need a notebook for some reason, I could always bring the passport size with me if that's the case. So size, it's a little bit bigger, definitely bigger than the Midori full size and the passport size. I've been using the Taschenbegleiter Bestseller A5 size for about a month now, so let me show you how I have it set up. So here is my ROTERFADEN Taschenbegleiter. Like I said, leather notebook cover, has an elastic closure, an elastic spine in which 3 sets of clips are fastened. Those are what allow you to insert your inserts. Let's take a look at what I've got inside here. I have a Midori pen loop that I put on the outside. This has my Lamy Safari. The included pen loop is a little small. You can order a larger one if you wish. The inside cover here, I opted for the suede inside as opposed to the felt. I'm kind of wondering if that was the best idea or not. I wanted it to be a little bit thinner, and the suede is nice, but I'm thinking the felt may be a little more durable over time, because suede will have a tendency to stretch, but I don't think that should be an issue. I have 2 pens here. These are actually Rotring mechanical pencils. Those reside here. You have these card pockets. You could put pretty much whatever you want. I have the Midori clear plastic sleeve. Got some 2mm pencil leads for my Rotring mechanical pencil, 0.5 for my other Rotring, 2mm pointer for my pencils, some extra Lamy cartridges, a little ruler. Here we have got a to-do list from ROTERFADEN. They sell their own inserts with quite a bit of variety. This is their little to-do list, which is quite nice. You can actually rip out the pages, and you've just got all these nice columns if you want to make a to-do list. It's the other side of the Midori insert. we have in here, oh, this was just a, is this a Hobonichi or Hobonichi? An Animal Crossing little pen backer thing. Here is one of these smaller size Midori notebook inserts. This is their A5, like this, where you can get a pack of 3. They're their thinner MD notebook lights. And they fit really well in the ROTERFADEN. And then here is a ROTERFADEN insert. This is where you can actually fold up a piece of paper, put postcards, anything you want can actually fit into this plastic sleeve, and it just rolls over. You can actually put an A4 size piece of paper in there, fold it in half. Here we have, this is just a Lockbee journal in A5 size. I have a bunch of guitar stuff in here as I'm writing songs or figuring things out on guitar. And then in the back, I have just a Moleskine sketchbook. So this is thicker sketch paper, and it fits just fine into this back sleeve. I actually have to take this off to get this out. But you see, you have this that could actually fit an iPad mini inside there as well. You could probably fit, actually it doesn't look like you could fit a Rhodia pad in there. I guess you could trim this down if you wanted to and try to shove it in there, but as it is, I think it's a little bit too thick or a little bit too wide. Yeah, just maybe. You could just barely trim the sides and you could actually get this in there if you wished. But I just use this Moleskine. It fits perfectly, like so. And then I hold it in place just to make sure it doesn't fly out with this Midori pen holder. Perfect. I had this Midori A5 size notebook in there at one point. It's just a little thicker than I need, but that will fit in perfectly if you wish. And I also had gotten this ROTERFADEN sketchbook as well. And you can see the red thread on the binding there. That fits well, but I like the idea of having a sketch pad where I could rip out the pages. I really love how I could use pretty much any A5 size insert here. It just works really well. I also really like the fact that these clips will roll. They'll move inside the binding. So when you close a book or one of your inserts, these can move to the side and then everything can lay flat really nicely. I really appreciate that about this system. It just works super well. It's great. Everything I need in there all fits perfectly, really easy to organize, and a lot of options. All right, so what are the pros and cons of the ROTERFADEN Taschenbegleiter Bestseller A5 size? And I guess the most important question, has it replaced my Midoris as my favorite notebook system? So first pro, it's really practical. I really like the fact that you can customize this notebook in pretty much however way you like, and the fact that you can use just normal basic A5 size notebooks. So you have so many options out there for inserts that you want to use in this notebook. Good utility out of it. It does everything I need it to do. It carries as many inserts as I need it to carry. It is really well made. The stitching is gorgeous. The leather and the materials are gorgeous. I opted to have the, instead of the felt, I have the gray suede interior in this one, but I'm assuming the felt is just as high quality as the suede would be. Just a really well-made object. What about cons? The biggest one, obviously, is the price. It is pretty expensive. Pretty expensive even for what it is. I know it's handmade. It's a beautiful thing. I really enjoy using it, but $160 is pretty steep. It's a little cheaper if you get it direct from ROTERFADEN, and you can customize it yourself. You're just gonna have to wait quite a long time for it to come from Germany if you are in the US, as I am. Another con is it's kind of bulky. I like the size. That's one thing that made me go towards this notebook over my Midori. I wanted to have a full-size notebook or an A5 size notebook, but there's a trade-off there. You get a little bit more utility, or in my case, it's a little more practical for me, but these are so much smaller and slimmer, the full size and the passport size Midori. This one, you know, you feel it in your bag. It's not huge. Here it is next to my hand. It's not gigantic, but it's a little bit more bulky. And then the other thing that I could think of as a con, because there are elastic parts of this system, the spine is elastic, and then this closure is elastic, you may have to worry about that elastic eventually losing its stretch. I'm not actually very worried about the back. If I open this up, it seems to be a very rigid elastic, and it doesn't seem like the type that would lose its stretch and become really loose. So I'm not worried about the back. The elastic band, I am sure, is eventually going to lose its stretch. And on a Midori, all you really have to do is just buy another little piece of elastic, loop it, tie a knot in it, shove it through the hole in the back, and you have a new elastic closure. With this one, you're probably going to have to actually get in here, maybe undo some of the stitching in the back, because the elastic is stitched behind the inner layer and the outer cover. So it's gonna take a little bit more to fix or replace the elastic there. So that's pretty much all I can think of for cons. But now the most important question. Has the ROTERFADEN replaced my full-size Midori and, to a lesser extent, my smaller passport-size Midori as my favorite go-to notebook system? Yes. Yes, it has. I really, really like this thing. I really enjoy using it. The fact that I can have these full-size notebooks in here, I have well, I mean, it's not full-size. It depends on your definition of full-size, but an A5-sized sketchbook. I've got all these A5 inserts. They're so easy to get. You have so many options for different ones that you might want to use. As I showed, I actually have this little Midori plastic sleeve inside here. I couldn't find a full A5 size sleeve to fit in here, but the Midori one works just fine. You have so many different options, so many pockets, so many sleeves, so many things that you can put things into and configure the way you like this to be, and it just gives you a little bit more real estate for writing, for drawing, for whatever it is that you want to do. And it's all in a really well-made, really nice package. So yes, I do really, really like the ROTERFADEN Taschenbegleiter Bestseller. It has replaced my Midori. It hasn't completely replaced the passport-size Midori because sometimes I do want something smaller that I can shove in a back pocket. So the Midori passport size does come out occasionally because of that. I'm hoping that in the future, the ROTERFADEN Bestseller will be available through more US retailers. You can get it at Baumkuchen. It's $160 there though, so it's pretty spendy. I would love it if a place like Goulet Pens carried the Taschenbegleiter, and I actually alerted the people at ROTERFADEN that they might want to check with Goulet Pens to see if they would like to carry their products, so hopefully that would happen in the future. It'd be great if they could have the capacity to ship through Amazon, but I know that they're a small manufacturer. They probably wouldn't be able to keep up with demand if that were the case, but who knows? In the future, I would love to see this more widely available, and I really think you should check out the ROTERFADEN Taschenbegleiter Bestseller A5 size. It is my new favorite notebook system. Thank you so much for watching. I've been your good friend Bradley. You've been the audience. This has been Stuff and Things. I'll see you later.